So both of my children were at home yesterday, and the entire time I was supposed to be hanging out with them, I was like, man, I should be at work. Work needs me. I need to be there providing shareholder value. I don't want that. I'm actually quite tired of providing shareholder value, but it does let me live a nice life. And what I want to do is shift my perspective, shift my mindset around work, around getting an income to be it's not such an outsized portion of what's in my brain all the time. I mean, I don't mind thinking about work occasionally when my laptop is closed because I mean, subconsciously solving problems, like that's fine for me. But like
Mhm.
feeling guilty for not working all the time, like I have been programmed to feel this way and I want to deprogram myself now.
Oh, I think is a very classic conundrum. Uh, I think back to my own journey with this, journey with other people that I've coached, where this sometimes there's this essence of when you are working, and I don't know if this is true for you, you didn't say this, but sometimes when you are working, you're feeling guilty that you're not available for your family. And then in
Uh-huh.
these moments where your kids were home sick and you have the opportunity to check out of work and be with them, there's the reverse of that. And so it's like it can come at you from either side.
Yes, it does come at me while I'm at work. I'm like, wow, I wish I could be doing literally anything else. And when I'm not
Yeah.
working, I'm like, wow, I should be working now.
Yeah. You referenced the hyperachiever and the hyperachiever through the lens of positive intelligence. Positive intelligence is simply just a framework for helping us recognize when we're in our sage wisdom and when we're in thinking patterns that kind of trip us up and get us trapped. And the hyperachiever, as you referenced, is one of those saboteurs. So, what do you know about the hyperachiever?
My hyperachiever wants to be doing. If I am not doing, I am not worthy. Like my worth is directly tied to my output. So when I'm having a tough day at work and I'm just not in it to win it and my output's really small, like wow, I didn't doesn't feel good in my body. When I recently moved from an individual contributor role where it's very task-based to a very managerial role. So a lot of my time is just talking. I don't have a lot of output anyway. That feels kind of crummy sometimes. So it's very much tied to task-based output where I can show someone that I did a thing. And then coming back and be like, wow, you did a great job.
Was validating.
Yes, external validation rather than internal validation of good job, ma'am.
Yeah. So we pulled a couple threads out here as you were speaking. There's this thread of I equate my value and worth to what I produce. I wonder, how do you see that reinforced from the society around you?
Oh, it's everywhere. I mean, our capitalistic society is all about like putting in the hours, building things, being present at a job for the sake of being present, like physically there. I mean, we teach it to our children in schools with homework, with grades.
I think there's another layer of this, especially when it's tied to your work. It's tied to your economic stability.
100% yes. It is directly tied to me being able to support myself, my family, and the life that we currently enjoy. It's a scarcity mindset.
Say more.
The the thought that if I don't stay, if I don't produce, I won't have a job. I won't be able to pay my mortgage, buy groceries, buy gas, and that there is no other opportunity out there that would give me that level of life.
So that actually sounds like a pretty base survival instinct.
It absolutely is.
So, at the simplest surface of this, we could say that when you're at rest, there's a part of you who is fearful that your very survival around food and housing and basic needs is not going to be met because you are at rest.
Never thought about it that way, but yes.
Let's look at it from the flip side. What messages have you noticed about rest? And when I say noticed about rest, think about, back from maybe your childhood forward about what were the messages that you were told, heard,
I
or observed?
distinctly remember being told that I was lazy when I was not doing. Like, I should be cleaning. I should be contributing to the household. I should be doing anything other than being a kid playing. Were there opportunities for that? Absolutely. But the thing that I remember that my nervous system remembers is that rest is laziness. I do. I have gotten better at about rest, but clearly there's still some stuff there.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the power, and I'm glad that you brought this up because this is the power of understanding the the way our nervous system was initially programmed. So rest equals laziness is that baseline programming that your nervous system learned this is true.
Mhm.
But I wonder what was even beyond that. What was the consequence of being lazy?
Not yelled at.
Mm-hmm.
I
So there
got
was punishment.
punished. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that punishment, I mean, was there any kind of repercussions that you remember specifically around that punishment?
It was I was forced to do the thing that they wanted me to do, which was clean my room, which was put stuff away, which was help outside in the yard. It was a what I want you to do is more important than the thing that you want to do.
Okay. So rest equals having to do something that I don't really want to do as a punishment for rest.
Mhm.
And as I hear, that's what your nervous system learned that if I want to rest, I can expect that I'm going to have to do things that I don't want to do.
Mhm.
How does all of this tie to what happened yesterday for you?
It's like if I can preempt that punishment and like outsmart it somehow of like, oh, if I could just do this thing, then I can rest. Ha ha ha. That's a lie. There is no rest.
Yeah. Is there an ever and never, is there ever an end to the things that we should do that would actually get us to the point of rest?
No, absolutely not. It's there, the bar is always moving. The goalposts are never in reach. It is a lie that there is an end goal. And like I
Mm-hmm.
say this and I'm like, you know this. Happiness is now. Happiness is not in the future. This is just another tale of that, just in the sake of rest and productivity and heavy air quotations.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can begin to see how strongly the conditioning of the culture that you grew up in, the society that you currently live in, impacts these two messages. So we have a foundation that says rest is dangerous and lazy and leads to punishment. And then we have a consistent reinforcement of that from the opposite direction, that the only time you have any worth is when you're doing things, and maybe in particular things you don't really want to be doing.
Absolutely. It's like the odds have been stacked against me.
Yeah. This is also what we call a double bind. It's it's something that your nervous system was taught was true, but isn't really true.
How do we get out of it?